Totally 80s.
So now I'm obsessed with time. Come on, tell me about the time. Had it all in my hand tonight. Had the time of my life. When the words all come down like
Let's try it opposite. I start and then
No,
you say American Time.
no, because that didn't work.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of American Timelines.
Timelines.
I'm Amy,
And I'm Joe.
and we are going to talk to you today about what year?
What?
What year are we going to talk about?
I don't know. You know. Why are you asking if you
We
know?
are going to talk about 1981.
This episode, we are going to cover the year 1981.
1981, I was...
American Timelines is a podcast
9.
about pop culture and murder.
It's about the crazy things that have happened through the decades.
We cover stupid pro wrestling things, crazy murders, and crazy things that happen, sometimes an alien abduction.
And sometimes a surprise, because I told you I have a surprise for you.
Oh, and sometimes anal beads.
No, that's not my surprise.
Let's go ahead and start in January 1st of 1981.
What happened in January?
Well, in January, this first item is I couldn't find. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find when in the year it happened.
Yeah.
But it happened in 1981. So I'll just start with this. A couple sued AC/DC, the band.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the band
Yep.
AC/DC?
Yeah.
In 1981. Do you remember the song "Dirty Deeds"?
Yep.
Dirty Deeds,
Yeah.
done the cheap.
Yes.
Dirty
All right.
Deeds, done
All right.
the cheap. It's
Yes.
a great song. But in 1981, a couple sued AC/DC
Mm-hmm.
for $250,000 because their telephone number is in the song "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt
Ha.
Cheap," resulting in hundreds of prank phone calls. The song's 36, 24, 36 digits
Yeah.
were followed by a "Hey," which to the clients sounded like an 8
Oh, my God. So they were all
to
calling.
the couple who sued.
Was it supposed to be a phone number that he's singing
It
about?
was 36, 24, 36.
Oh, there's
with a woman's,
measurements.
but they say 36, 24, 36. Hey, so it sounds like 8. So 362-4368 is this couple's.
I would never think
number.
to do that. Who are these people doing this?
So, anyone listening, call that number and harass the hell out of them. See if they'll sue us.
Why would you hear those numbers and say, "Oh, I'm going to make it into a phone number and I'm going to call it"?
Because people are fucking. Remember the left-handed Whopper?
Yeah, that's
people
true.
are idiots.
All right.
That reason alone is probably why. Because I always wondered when I was a kid. Anytime you see her phone number on TV, it's 555 is the area
Right.
code.
Yeah.
Because it's not real.
They don't want it to be real because people will.
Because
Yeah.
people will just hear a number on TV, then they'll just call it just to see
People
whose phone
are
number it
so
is.
stupid.
What do they say? What does that phone call go
I
like?
know.
Hello? Oh, is this
AC/DC?
is this David Schwimmer from Friends? I heard the phone number on Friends.
All right.
Do you know your phone number was on Who's the Boss?
It's just
Tony
weird.
Danza said it. Like, what do they say?
I know. What else happened?
January 21st, 1981 was Ronald Reagan's inauguration.
Oh,
He became president. He beat Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter
Yes.
ran for re-election.
That's
and
right.
We briefly mentioned that in the last episode, but I cut it out because it was the only reason we mentioned Jimmy Carter was about the Chrysler bailout.
Yeah.
And we had so much material, I had to cut something, and that really was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
But there was a Chrysler bailout that we cut. But Ronald Reagan's inauguration was January 21st. And actually, the practice of presidents returning a salute from members from the military started with that inauguration.
Oh, I didn't even know they
1981
did
by
that.
Ronald Reagan. So, yeah, when
the military
when
salute.
the military salute, the president always salutes back.
Oh, yeah, I
You
do.
do know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
Because there was all that controversy
Yes.
that Obama didn't salute somebody back, and
Oh.
Fox News was like he's
Yeah.
Satan, and
Okay,
he doesn't
yes,
support
yeah.
the troops and all that. Every other president has done that. Not true. It didn't start till Reagan. So before that,
So it doesn't even matter.
before that, presidents didn't
They didn't do
do
that back.
Reagan started it.
Oh, he just did it. He just did it on his own.
At the
like as a
inauguration,
whim
he
or
did
something.
it, and yeah.
He
So
probably didn't know where he was.
yeah, I
He
think
did have some Alzheimer's. He was probably
Yeah.
he probably was like, "Am I in the military now?"
he probably thought he was in a movie. He was
Yeah.
filming a movie,
Yeah.
which Trump thinks is on a reality show.
That's,
That's
so it
perfect.
does the same thing.
January 25th, 1981. Super Bowl
Oh God.
15.
Okay.
Cost of the Super Bowl ad 1981.
Oh, what was it last time? I'm gonna say $280,000.
Oh, you're so close.
What was it?
Oh my God, I've never been more impressed by your guessing skills.
What was it? What is it?
275,000.
Whoa, I'm within $5,000.
You were within $5,000.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, if you were on Price is Right, they probably would have given it to you.
They would have. They would have given me the car and the trip. too.
And Bob Barker would have giving you cunnilingus.
All right. Then we have to go there.
Bob
Really?
Parker.
Gross.
Price is wrong, bitch. Super Bowl 15 was an American football game between the American Football Conference champion
All right, no.
Oakland
Okay.
Oakland Raiders
The Oakland Raiders.
and the NFC champion, the Philadelphia Eagles, to decide the National Football League champion of the 1980 season.
Yes.
The Raiders defeated the Eagles by the score of 27-10, and the Eagles were heavily favored, but the Raiders
Okay.
blew them out, kind of.
Okay.
And they became the first wild card playoff team to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Do you know what a wild card is?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
How do you know what that is?
Because I've heard you drone on and on about this football stuff
When?
for 20 years.
Name 17 times I've mentioned.
I could. Oh, please.
I love you. The game was played at the Louisiana Superdome in
Yes.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yes.
You ever heard of New Orleans? You ever been there?
I have. You haven't.
I have not. So that Super Bowl was 5 days after the Iran hostage crisis ended.
Yes.
You remember the Iran
Yeah.
hostage crisis?
Yes.
So the whole thing was Jimmy Carter spent the last, I don't know how many months or years of his presidency
Yeah.
negotiating with Iran and
Yeah.
about this hostage crisis.
Yeah.
And Iran made up their mind that they weren't going to release him until Jimmy Carter was out of office.
Oh.
So Reagan didn't do anything except be
So,
inaugurated.
yeah.
So they let
Then they let them all go.
they let him all go because just to show that it was all Jimmy Carter's fault, kind of thing. But yeah, so
I bet those people were happy when Reagan won that election
they probably were. Oh, not that he. I don't think.
because
Yeah, maybe it
Jimmy
was-
Carter would have stayed in office.
Yeah, and they would have never got him out. But he said all he did was try to get them released. That's
Yeah.
all he thought about. That's all he cared about. Like he didn't sleep at night. He
Yeah,
was just
I'm
like,
sure.
But so this was right after they were released. Yeah, so 5 days later, it was the Super Bowl. The game was held under patriotic fervor. The pregame ceremonies honored the end of the crisis. A large yellow bow, 80 feet long and 30 feet wide, was attached to the outside of the Superdome, while miniature bows were given to fans.
It's nice.
Jim Plunkett was the MVP.
Okay.
Helen O'Connell sang the national anthem. Do you know who that is?
No.
She was like a singer or actress, but she's from Toledo, Ohio
Oh,
originally.
there
Yeah,
you
so I was
go.
excited. Toledo's the greatest city on earth. Tony Pacos makes the greatest hot dogs,
Okay.
Hungarian hot dogs.
Okay.
Chips. Remember the show Chips?
Yes, I used to love Eric Estrada.
It was broadcast after the game, representing the Super Bowl lead-out program. So it was one of the first times they did like,
Oh.
okay, remember, stay tuned after the Super Bowl, watch Chips, special episode of Chips, and it was like they
Oh
led
my
into
God,
Chips.
that show.
Chips, yeah. You said you loved Eric Estrada.
I did. I was in
Ponch?
true love with
You're
him.
a big fan of Ponch.
By the time I was watching it, I want to say though it was on like after school time. It was on in the afternoon.
It'll have been reruns. Yeah, 'cause-
Reruns of it.
Yeah.
So
We had action figures of John and Ponch.
Did you?
And we had the little helmets on. and stuff.
that you know what, that might be a good, nice, just quick segue into my surprise.
John and Ponch. Okay, you have a surprise that just doesn't have a date to it.
No, it doesn't
know
have a date to it. It
Has
is.
to do with
I
chips?
looked up the popular toys of 1981,
Okay,
and I thought I would go over them, and we can cut it if it's stupid. But
I do what I
okay,
want.
so Star Wars action figures were some of the popular toys, and I
Yep.
know you had. And
We had a whole
There was-
bunch of them, and we opened them and played
Yeah.
with them all.
There was Luke Skywalker and as an X-wing pilot, Yoda, Lando Calrissian, and Han Solo in the Hoth outfit. Remember that?
I have a little story about the Han Solo.
Oh no!
Hoth.
You can tell the story.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the story now
Okay.
because I have to. Because
Yeah.
specifically the Hoth Han Solo.
Yes.
That he was wearing a blue jacket with a hood up. He was the one where he saves Luke in the
Yeah. Snow.
tauntaun and everything. Puts him in the tauntaun's body.
Yep.
That was my favorite part of the movie, and that was my favorite character, and that was my favorite figure. And I carried that, and I think it's because I had a blue coat like that.
Yeah.
I put the hood up.
Yeah.
So I carried that action figure with me everywhere when I was. This was 81, so
Yep.
I was 5,
Yeah.
6, something like that. I carried it. I took it to bed with me. I took it to school.
Yeah.
Preschool. Everything was always in my pocket.
Yep.
And I distinctly remember I was in the bathroom at my mom's house, and she was
Yes.
brushing her hair, doing her makeup or whatever, and I was playing with the figure on the toilet seat, and he was like,
Yep.
"Oh," I was having an action scene. He was going to fall into the water,
And your mom is sitting there, standing right next to you, and she's letting you
she's
play in
not
the
watching.
toilet.
She's like brushing her hair. She's doing her hair, like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
not paying attention to me
Yeah.
at all. And I'm just like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh no, I fell in the water." And then my plan was flush the toilet, and when it starts,
Yeah.
I've seen it flush. It just swirls around a little bit first, and
Yeah.
then it goes down. So I figured I'll let him swirl
Oh,
around a little
my
bit, and then he'll
God.
jump out, and I saved, and
Yeah.
like
That's not how it really flushes.
I guess not. So I flushed it.
It goes
And
straight down.
He
the-
went straight down immediately, like he was gone immediately, and I was like, And I saw him go. And,
Oh my God.
And I was just like, oh my God, Han Solo, we got to get him. Where is he? Is he out in the sewer? Can we go out in the sewer?
Oh
and get
my
him? And
God.
my mom was like, no, honey, we don't. He's gone forever. Like, we're never going to get him back. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Did you pull a Henry?
I'm pretty sure I threw it. I remember just being heartbroken and just replaying it in my head over and over, and I'm never going to get him back
Oh
again.
my God.
But I didn't get a new one or anything. It wasn't like on the sitcoms where they go get a replacement
Which
immediately.
to be honest, we would probably do too.
We probably would.
If it was this beloved thing that he played with all the time.
An action figure or something, but yeah.
Yeah. So another one was the Barbie perfume maker, which I sort of remember.
That doesn't seem safe.
There were Clash of the Titans action figures. Remember Clash of the Titans?
I don't.
Really? You never saw Clash of the Titans?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God! It's like it's almost got that claymation kind of.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't even think I know what it is.
Perseus and then Pegasus and Medusa comes out and she turns the guy to stone.
It's a cartoon?
No, it was a movie. It was a giant movie. I can't believe you never saw Clash of the Titans.
No, I don't. I've never seen that. Let's watch the trailer.
Oh my God! It's hysterical.
Harry Hamlin.
Harry Hamlin was Perseus.
And Laurence Olivier.
Yep.
I don't remember ever even hearing of that being a thing.
Oh yeah, we have to watch it. It's pretty fun. I think Henry might even like it. It's real, but it's got like claymation creatures, like
I see the
Medusa.
picture, yeah.
Medusa is like a claymation.
No, I missed that completely being a thing.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
Not even aware of it.
Yeah,
so many people are going to be mad.
They are.
All you Generation Xers are going to be pissed.
You're not representing. Then this next one, my cousin Eric had, and it was a Jaws game, and it was like this plastic Jaws head that was open, and you put all this crap in his throat, and you had to fish it out with a fishing hook before he snapped his jaws closed, and it scared me to death, that game, because
I put my dick in that one.
Stop it, you did not. Let's see if there's any other fun. There's Crazy Clone Laboratory. Where
that's where you could clone humans?
No, now your child can clone his own fingers with this molding toy. You mix green material with water, put your finger in the mold for a few minutes, then mix a second batch using flesh tone mix, and pour it into the original green mold. In a few minutes, remove the cloned finger with a soft, weird skin feel. Also make copies of toes and other objects.
Okay, that's weird.
Why would you want to do that?
I want a clone finger. Well, they have that silly putty you could copy.
This is pretty.
Newspaper.
This is like a ordeal to get through, though.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right.
Sounds dumb.
There's a master caster where you can make your own Formula One cars, and it was basically melted plastic.
Boy, play with all these poison chemicals, children.
I know. There were Munchie dolls. Remember those?
Munchie,
That's right.
Munchie.
That's right.
Munchie.
Of course, My Pretty Pony. There was Sport and Shave Ken, and he was the first Ken with real, lifelike hair.
Like it wasn't just plastic.
Right,
It was like,
right. But it turned out awful. He looked like, that caveman movie? What's that movie about a caveman that...
You mean Saturday Night Live when Phil Hartman's a caveman lawyer?
Probably. That'll work. But he looks... His hair is like sticking straight up.
I don't understand your primitive...
But you could put brown marker on his face, and then he had a little razor that you could use to shave his face off, and then his hair was like a crazy afro. There was I
remember the girl next door had a Munchie, and you could put its thumb in its mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
Munchie.
Okay. The Empire Strikes Back laser rifle, and it was authentically styled with 2 electronic sounds.
It was Han Solo's rifle, or his gun.
His laser rifle?
Yeah, we had it. It made sounds. We had that.
That's
it was so cool.
Strawberry Shortcake Steel Tricycle. I don't know why I put that one. Oh, this is the last one.
I used to love sniffing the neighbor girls' stalls.
Yep. There was a board game called War of the Networks. And it was you're a wheelin' dealin' TV executive trying to win the ratings war. Schedule programs, choose your stars, and try to make the most money.
Do you want Howard Hessman on WKRP or Ron Glass?
Wouldn't it be funny to get a copy of that? Like
what's it called?
War of the Networks.
I bet there's a nerd board game guy somewhere listening with a big boner right now.
Yeah,
I'll go get it out. I listen to the podcast.
But I just think that would be hysterical to see what the stars that game is going to be so
Lonnie
dated.
Anderson.
Yeah, it's going to be probably Cheryl Teagues.
Who's the people on Dallas? All those
Dynasty
people.
Yeah.
That's
so anyway,
good. Those are good.
I thought that would be fun to see.
Yeah, that is good. You were bugging me to do that, and I refused.
Yep, that's right.
That's good. January 31st, Blondie took over the number 1 spot with a remake of a 1966 song.
The Tide is High.
The Tide is High,
yeah.
Correct. Did you know that was a remake?
It sounds like it. It sounds like one.
Do you remember the video for this?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You do? The music video, this is just the only thing I kept on here because it seemed interesting. The music video depicts the band waiting out on the street for singer Debbie Harry, who appears to be trapped in a flooding apartment. All the while, she is being monitored from outer space by what appears to be a Darth Vader-like alien being. It's so 80s. She soon reunites with the band on the street, and they drive to a rocket launch and fly into space. Then they crash into the spaceship or space station. Harry confronts the alien being and begins dancing with him.
Okay.
That does not go with the
No, I know. I can't picture. I kind of picture the background or something, maybe.
February 7th, Blondie gets overtaken by the number one song by Kool and the Gang, Celebration, even though it was from 1980, but it hit the number one in 1981. So February 7th.
That was the big, when the Cardinals won the World Series sometime around this era, and that was the big song in St. Louis. Celebration by the Kool and the Gang.
Celebration. Well, they do say that Celebration came out that year, and it instantly became super popular at stadiums.
Yeah.
Every team played it. Every stadium played that over and over.
Okay, so
and they still do to this day. They
That's
still
true.
play that every game you go to. But this still remains the band's only number one hit ever.
Really?
Kool and the Gang, yeah.
They have some other good ones. I'm surprised they weren't ever number one.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
They did Jungle Boogie and stuff.
Jungle Boogie. February 21st, Kool and the Gang gets overtaken by the number one song by Dolly Parton, 9 to 5.
Oh, I love it.
I want Dolly Parton to come over here.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm not a country music fan, but I love Dolly Parton.
I know, she is. She's awesome.
I think I love her more because gay guys love her. Like,
yeah.
Gay guys love Dolly Parton. Dollywood. If you go to Dollywood right now, it's just gay men everywhere.
Yeah.
February 28th, Eddie Rabbit, I Love a Rainy Night, takes
Yes.
over the Billboard charts,
Yep.
number one.
Mm-hmm.
I love a rainy night. March 1st.
Yep.
Politics. Harvard professor Roger Fisher was known for a unique idea towards nuclear deterrence. In a March 1981 paper, while discussing the importance on reaching a wise decision, especially in terms of nuclear arms, he suggested implanting the nuclear launch codes in a volunteer inside a person's body. If the President of the United States wanted to activate nuclear weapons, he would be required to kill the volunteer to retrieve the codes.
Wow.
And this is from his paper. My suggestion was quite simple. Put that needed code number in a little capsule and then implant that capsule right next to the heart of a volunteer. The volunteer would carry with him a big, heavy butcher knife as he accompanied the president. If ever the president wanted to fire nuclear weapons, the only way he could do so would be for him first with his own hands to kill one human being. The president says, George, I'm sorry, but tens of millions must die. He has to look at someone and realize what death is, what an innocent death is. Blood on the White House carpet.
Wow.
It's reality brought home. When I suggested this to friends in the Pentagon, they said, my God, that's terrible. Having to kill someone would distort the president's judgment. He might never push the button.
Oh, my God.
Which is kind of the point.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's crazy, but it kind of makes sense.
It
It's
does.
a real person. But
right. I used to always say,
who the fuck is going to volunteer to do that?
I used to always think that senators should have their own children, should be required to be in the military. Yeah. Whenever there's a war, an active military, if your own child,
Because they'd be a lot more careful.
Then they'd be a little bit more reluctant, maybe.
Yeah. What if they don't have kids? They're forced to have kids.
Forced to have a child.
Forced to have a child.
Yep.
Or if they don't have kids, then their wife has to go.
Yeah, or they do. Some old man.
No, their wife.
Yeah.
Or their neighbor. Or whoever,
whoever's walking down the street.
Whoever you know. March 21st. Mm-hmm. The new number one single on the Billboard charts is REO Speedwagon. Keep on loving you. I want to keep on loving you. As it's the only thing I want to do. I don't want to sleep. I just want to keep on loving you.
Oh, I like REO.
REO Speedwagon is great.
Yeah.
I downloaded that whole album, and I was like, oh, my God. They have like 4 songs that sound just like that with other words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're still all great. That same
But it's one of those that's like, yeah, it's a good band, even though it's a kind of a joke. It's a go-to.
It is, yeah.
But it's like...
And they all sound the guy sounds the same.
Right.
All of them,
they do good music.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I love REO Speedwagon.
Yeah,
In fact, let's make this an REO Speedwagon podcast.
All right, that sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Next year, we'll do an REO Speedwagon podcast. We'll
only talk about that. Deep dive.
Yeah, each episode will be like one line of the song. We'll just talk about it for an hour. We'll just keep singing that. March 28th, Blondie takes over again with another song.
Wait, let me guess. Not Call Me?
Nope.
Hold Hold on.
I don't know this one. I don't think you'd have to sing. You'll have to sing this for me. 'Cause I
Okay,
don't know
what is it? What?
Rapture. Blondie
Oh.
Rapture.
I don't remember it.
March 30th. Politics again. Ronald Reagan called Code of the Secret Service the worst movie he ever made. The film inspired a man named Jerry Spar to join the Secret Service. So this guy watched it, Jerry Spar.
Yeah.
And in 1981, that guy who was inspired by Ronald Reagan's movie saved President Ronald Reagan from an assassination attempt.
Oh, wow.
On March 30th, 1981. The assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan happened on Monday, March 30th, 69 days.
Was it Sirhan or what was
69 days after he became president. Ronald Reagan was leaving a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. As Reagan left to enter his car, John Hinckley fired his gun. Yeah, remember that?
You said 6 days after his inauguration?
69 days.
69 days.
69.
All right.
You know what that is?
Stop it. Stop it. You're stupid. You're stupid.
Should we explain to the
You know
kids?
what that is?
Let's explain to the children.
All
what
right,
that is.
let's not. All right, what's next?
I remember when I was in elementary school, people would write 69
And
everywhere.
you knew it was dirty, but you didn't know why.
I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I
I just
know.
knew it was supposed to be cool
Dirty.
to love that, like
Yeah.
that number. And I was like, oh, 69.
Yeah, you know.
And I was like, yeah, and I have no idea what
Let's
it
hope
was.
that's our children.
They don't know that it's cool, probably. April 10th, music. The Brixton Riots. Have you heard of this?
No.
You know what the Brixton Riots were?
Nope.
The Brixton Riots is what the song Electric Avenue by
Yeah.
Eddie Grant is based on,
Okay.
is written about.
Okay. I love that song.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. The song title refers to Electric Avenue in the South London district of Brixton, which was the first market street to be lit by electricity. The area is now known for its high population of Caribbean immigrants.
Because
And-
of the song?
No, I think it was then. That's when he wrote it. This was happening. There was a high population of
Oh.
Caribbean immigrants and high unemployment. At the beginning of the 1980s, tensions over unemployment, racism, and poverty culminated in the street events now known as the 1981 Brixton Riot. Grant, horrified and enraged, wrote and composed the song in response. A year afterward, the song was playing over the airwaves,
Oh.
which I didn't ever know what that was really about.
Right. I thought you meant that a bunch of Caribbean people
Moved there because of that
liked
song?
that song so much that they moved
This is a great song. We should go to Electric Avenue. No, I don't
know
think
why
so.
I would think that.
April 11th, 1981. A new number one song, Daryl Hall and John Oates. Do you want to guess
Rich
the song?
Girl?
Nope.
No, I don't know.
Kiss on my list.
Oh,
because
God.
your kiss
That's
is
now that's
on
a
my list.
band that's kind of
Because
shitty.
your kiss is
That's
on.
pretty shitty music.
Hall and Oates are pretty shitty.
Yeah,
but
they are.
I still,
You still what?
I guess just because I know a lot of their songs.
Well,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, you know them, so you
we
just
had
play.
limited, like we were saying last time, we had limited
Yeah, I have friends a lot of friends who that was their first concert. Hall and Oates.
Hall
They
and
went to see Hall and Oates.
Oh my God.
It's like Hall and Oates sounds like they're great, but you watch their videos and they dressed
Oh, they
ridiculously.
were awful.
Oates had that damn mustache.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
I had an Oates collage in college. I made a collage of just John Oates.
Love John Oates.
Oh yeah, we loved him. Well, the reason we did,
In college.
yeah, well, we moved into a college house. In the house, there were old '80s teen magazines.
Oh, my God, really?
Stacks and stacks and
I
stacks.
didn't know
of
that.
them. And so we looked at them. They were hilarious because they were very
Yeah.
nostalgic from the '80s to the mid '90s.
Right.
And so but it was so fun. We would laugh because it's like, here's Kirk Cameron and here's
Yeah.
Corey Haim and then here's Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there was all these pictures of Hall and Oates.
Yeah, they
like,
were
doing stuff. And I was like, they weren't heartthrobs. They're old guys. Like,
They
what
were. I guess they were.
but there's all these pictures of Oates. Like there's Oates with a horse and Oates doing this. So we cut Daryl Hall out of all of them and just made an Oates collage. Of just
God.
a whole big thing. We hung it up on the walls. Just John Oates. A bunch of John Oates.
You guys
stuff.
are crazy.
It's great. Everybody should have a Oates collage. April 12th.
On April 12th, 1981, there was a quadruple murder in Keddie, California, known as the Keddie Cabin 28 murders.
You say Keddie,
Keddie. Keddie.
California.
Yes. This was something out of a horror film.
The same night that WKRP in Cincinnati was on, in that episode on CBS, a preacher with cleanup radio everywhere wants WKRP to stop playing specific songs due to the lyrics. Mr. Carlson thinks the station should cooperate, while the rest of the gang says the songs are classics and shouldn't be subjected to censorship.
This was this woman, Sue Sharp, who was 36. So she was a mother of 5. she had left her husband and moved to this little tiny mountain town in northeast California. They used to be a resort town, but now it was kind of in disrepair.
Northeast California?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And so she had, her 5 kids were Johnny, Sheila, Tina, Rick, and Greg. And
those are totally
yes,
80s names.
Totally
Say them
80s
again.
names. Johnny, Sheila, Tina, Rick, and Greg.
Totally 80s.
Rick and Greg.
Yeah, that's
Rick
right.
and Greg.
Before this night, Keddie was a pretty safe area.
Okay.
It was
Before this night?
Yeah, before this event.
Okay.
It was it seemed like a safe area. The night before, April 11th.
Oh, the night before on April 11th, actress Valerie Bertinelli married rock musician Eddie Van Halen on April 11th,
did she?
1981. Yeah.
Sheila stayed the night next door.
Oh,
So Sheila's one of the daughters. Stay
one of
with
the
me.
daughters. The third daughter. Second daughter.
She's,
First daughter.
She's older.
She's the first
She's
daughter.
an older one. She stayed the night next door with her girlfriend, who's
like girlfriend?
no,
Girlfriend?
like her friend.
Friend who's a girl.
Yeah.
And you know how old she is, Sheila, at the time? You think she's older, like high
she's
school?
like 13 or 14 or
Okay.
something. And then her brother, one of her brothers, her 2 brothers or whatever, had friends to spend the night. So her younger brother had a friend.
At her house. So she was at her neighbor's house.
She was at her neighbor's house, and then there were some extra boys staying the night.
At that same
so
house.
So at cabin 28, it was Sue, the mom.
So they live in cabins.
They live in cabins.
Oh.
So cabin 28 is where Sheila lives. And so she's not there, but the mom is there, and her son Johnny and his friend Dana Wingate. And then in the back room are Rick and Greg and their friend Justin.
All at their house.
All at their
Sheila's
house.
So Sheila's not sleeping
but
over
she's
somebody
not
else.
there. Sheila's not there, but the rest of them are home. And then they have 2 extra friends there.
So they have people staying over, but Sheila's at her neighbor's.
Next door. Yes.
Neighbor, okay.
Yes. So Sheila goes
A bunch
home.
of kids everywhere.
Yeah. Sheila goes home the next morning.
This is in April of 81.
Yes.
Okay, Sheila goes home
And
after the sleepover.
she opens the door, and there's
In the morning?
there's 3. She sees 3 bodies on the floor. So she goes back.
She panics. Like dead
she
bodies.
goes.
Like she knows they're
she
dead.
knows they're dead bodies. That everybody's tied with electrical cord, and there's a bloody hammer, and there's a knife, and it's
What?
crazy.
That is crazy.
And so she goes back to the next door neighbors, and they call the police. And she doesn't know. She couldn't tell. She said, "I don't know where my mom is." She couldn't tell one of them was her mom. That's how badly they were. They were beaten and like
And
it
she
was.
didn't like yell and look for anybody else. But there's
No,
three
she
three
just-
bodies, but there's like 7 or 8 people that are
Right.
supposed to be in the house.
Right. The neighbors call the police, and the older son of the neighbors goes back over there, and he finds the 3 boys are in the back room, and they
In
are
addition to the 3
yeah
in the living room.
the 3 younger boys
Yeah.
are in the back room asleep.
What?
So yeah,
They're alive.
they're alive. So they open the window, and they get them to climb out the window because they don't want them to go through
Yeah.
and see this. So then Sheila's uncle shows up, and that's Sue's brother, the mom's brother.
Okay.
He went to the scene and ID'd Sue and Johnny's friend Dana.
Now, wait, let me ask you this. Does it just show up?
No, he shows up with the police. Shows up at the scene. The police coded the scene, and he's the one that
So
goes
the police
in.
contacted him and everything. Was like, hey,
Yeah.
sister, no dead.
Somebody contacted him, and so
Okay.
then he's the one that IDs who they are.
Okay,
who
so
they
he
were.
doesn't show up conspicuously. Like,
No,
oh,
no.
what happened?
No, the victims were stabbed and beaten with 2 separate hammers, and there's only 1 hammer left at the scene.
What? How do they know it's 2 separate hammers? Just from
Forensics, yeah.
forensic evidence?
Yes.
1981.
So the house was also the front room of the house was also completely turned upside down.
Oh.
And so the police right away felt like they were dealing with more than one killer, like to control the scene with 2 grown boys and the mom. It would be really hard. And with the level of destruction, it would be really hard for one person to do that.
Right.
So then,
Where's
Ricky,
the
Greg, and
dad?
Sue had left the dad. He was abusive and stuff.
Oh, she left him years
And-
before.
Yeah, and moved to Keddie.
So she was single.
Yeah,
A
she was
single
a single
mom with all
mom.
those
A single
kids.
mom.
5 kids?
Yeah.
Rick.
And Ricky,
Greg.
and Justin were the boys in the back, and they
Justin was
lived
their
through
friend.
the attack. They
slept through it
they
all.
slept through it apparently. So Justin
Children do
is
sleep
the
through
friend.
lots.
Justin is the friend of the
Yeah.
that slept there, and he starts trying to tell police that Tina's missing. That's the younger girl. Finally, they listen to him, and they do an exhaustive search for Tina of all the roads. They call the FBI. They're trying to figure out who the target of this attack was Tina the target? Maybe the kidnappers came in to kidnap Tina, and things got crazy. One of the suspects they looked at was the ex-husband.
Yeah, of course. I was thinking, where's that guy? That's what I'm thinking.
He had sexually abused the daughters. And they did a background check on him. They surveilled him.
Remember I said no more
I know.
pedophilia?
They questioned him, but he has an alibi, and he was nowhere near Keddie at the time.
Okay.
So he was kind of out.
Can they just... once they find out that he was doing that, can't they just kill him?
Yeah, really.
Cut his fucking balls off and his dick?
They start to look at
Make him
Sue's
eat it?
life, and they eliminate her exes and her boyfriends and things, and there were rumors of her being in drugs and prostitution, but Sheila, the daughter that survived to this day, she was interviewed. She talks about it, and she denies that
her mom was
and
ever
there was
into that
no
stuff?
drugs found in the house or in her system.
Even if she is...
Yeah, I
They
know.
think that just... Well, I guess
Well, they're
people
trying to
kill
figure
for
out.
drug- yeah.
They're trying to figure out what's going on.
What's the motivation?
There was one suspect. Another suspect was Tina's teacher. He had a really weird obsession with Tina, and his name was Joe Lipsy. And he had her picture on his desk and in his house, which is kind of weird.
Just one kid?
Yeah.
That's weird. He did it.
But he was also at the
Joe
Keddie.
Lipsy.
He was seen at the Keddie bar the night of the killings. And he moved away and was later arrested for molesting a young girl.
God,
but
fucking Joe Lipsy's a
he has
dick.
he had an alibi, I guess. So they eliminate him. The evidence also, the police think it suggests that the person involved knew the victims because there was no sign of forced entry,
Right.
and like maybe something. The other thing was that
I mean, to
Johnny.
destroy that living room so badly.
I know.
Kill 3 people.
And like there was. It also looked like they were throwing knives at the wall. Like there was knife
How could the
marks in the
children
wall.
sleep through all that?
Right, I know.
Or did they do it sleepwalking?
So they decided to talk to the boys. So both the
sleepwalking.
both the Sharp boys say they're real littler. They're a lot littler. Both Sharp boys say they slept and heard nothing. And then Justin, the friend, he says he had a strange dream, and he says
He
in
was
his
killing
dream.
people.
He says in his dream he saw the Love Boat. That he was on the Love Boat, which I guess is what they were watching before they went to bed.
The love
And,
boat.
he-
Soon we'll be making another run.
So-
sorry, you have to sing that.
No, I'm not doing it. So
I'm not doing
investigators decide to hypnotize Justin.
that. Oh, because that's your next natural
That's
thing.
and that's the 80s
It's
for
the
you.
80s. You just, I guess hypnotize
Yeah,
him.
I think
That's the next
I
thing.
think that was a big thing in the 80s, probably
Probably
much more
was.
than now. So he describes 2 men that stabbed Sue, Johnny, and Dana. And the dream he describes mimics the murders. Like he describes the hammer and the knife, and he talks about how Sue was stabbed in the chest. So the police get him to describe 2 men that were the attackers. One has short hair and one has long
while
hair.
he's hypnotized.
Yeah, and they get a sketch of each of these.
Based on his hypnotized self
Yes.
of a kid.
But he knew stuff, and he also knew Tina was missing. One of the sketches looks a lot like Marty Smart, who is Justin's stepdad.
Oh, no.
And they live adjacent to Cabin 28.
Martin Smart?
Marty Smart.
Marty Smart.
Marty was a Vietnam vet who had PTSD, known to be violent and had an explosive temper, and he abused Justin and the mom. He had gone to a VA hospital for the mental health unit and met a guy named John Bobidet, who was
Bobidet.
called Bo. They called him Bo.
Hey, John Bobidet.
And
Can we just call you Bo?
he brought Bo back to Keddie, where Bo stayed on the couch. So this guy Bo is there. Bo was a
Bobidet.
thief, an ex-con, and a hitman. It was rumored.
And he was sleeping on the couch of Justin's
Yes,
house.
yes.
Bobidet.
Yes.
Bobidet.
And Justin's mom, Marilyn, was interviewed, and she said that Bo that night had asked Sue Sharp out. They were going to go up to the bar.
Sue Sharp is the single mom.
Yeah.
Who was dead.
And he
Bobidet. I just like saying Bobidet.
he asked her to go with them, and she said no. And that later at the bar, he said he felt like killing someone.
And he was
what.
rejected by her.
Yeah.
He felt rejected. But she had
Yeah.
all those damn kids in the house. You can't go to a bar. I got
Right.
9 kids here staying over.
So the sheriff
Bobidet.
bring Marty and Bo in for questioning, but
Marty and Bobidet? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just like saying
and
Bobidet.
Bo tells all these lies. He says he used to be a cop. He says all of this crazy stuff
one lying
that are real
guy.
obviously lies. He says his alibi is that he was with Marty the whole time. Marty says something weird. He kind of slips up, and he says Justin could have been at the scene of the crime without me detecting him.
Yeah, that's a slip up.
Yeah,
That's basically
so
saying you were there.
then he also says, I heard a hammer was used. It's weird. I have a hammer that went missing, and he describes it, right? One of the things with this one is the police, there's something going on. Like, they do a horrible job
They're
investigating
involved.
this.
They're friends with Boba Day.
Right,
Or something.
because they let them go. They never re-interview them, and the sheriff was friends with Marty, and there was rumors that Bo was a police informant.
Fucking Boba Day.
So then all of a sudden Justin stops talking to the cops. And
The kid?
Yeah.
The little kid?
Well, the dad probably went back
He
home.
probably threatened the shit out of him.
Yeah, right.
Yo, me and Boba Day will fuck up your
And
life.
so there was evidence purposely left out. And then Bo and Marty move away, and police never search for the missing hammer.
Let's move away.
Yeah, they move away.
To where?
After they were questioned. So the case goes cold.
Cold case file?
Cold case file. Then it was 3 years to the day of the murder. There's a cranium that's found in the hills of Butte County. And
Wait, a what?
A cranium, a skull.
A human cranium
Yes.
found where?
In the hills of Butte County, which is like 50 miles out of
California?
Keddie. They thought it was ancient Indian burial, I guess, or something. I don't know.
I guess you would. That's
And
what I would
then
go with.
There's
That's an
this
ancient Indian
anonymous
cranium.
caller that calls the police and says it's Tina Sharp. So,
Anonymous caller called the police.
yep, and said that's Tina Sharp that
That's
they found.
Tina Sharp's cranium.
That's her body they found, because they found the rest of the body too.
Oh, they did. But
Yeah.
then why did you say cranium?
Because that was because I copied and pasted that part.
This
Kind
is a
of.
very, very
Listen,
scientific.
listen.
Listen,
So-
people. This is why you need to support us on Patreon.
That's
Because
right.
we have to half-ass the research when we have full-time jobs.
That's right.
You know,
Just pay us to do this only.
Pay us to just do this.
It'd be a lot better quality.
And it'll be better quality. We'll have more time to do research. We can quit our other jobs.
That's right.
And we can just lay around in our underpants and
Yes.
do research.
So anyway, this anonymous
Boba
caller
Day.
calls and says that's Tina Sharp.
I
That they
think the
found.
anonymous caller is definitely Boba Day.
And the forensics confirm that it is Tina.
So they did. They did
They
DNA.
did- they did
well, they
that.
didn't have DNA, but somehow they figured it out.
Probably dental.
Dental.
They always do that
That's
dental
what they did
records.
dental back in the 80s.
But the remains were just bones, so they couldn't figure out.
Well, because this was 84. so
Right.
it's-
They
yeah.
couldn't figure out how she died. They couldn't
Anything.
figure out anything. The call to the police, that anonymous call, was recorded, but the tape was lost and it was not investigated. You know,
tape.
just another thing that happened.
Tape was lost.
Yep.
Cassette tape.
So Bo dies in 1998,
Oh, man, I was hoping to get in touch with Boba Day.
and Marty dies in 2000.
Oh, they're both dead.
So 2010 rolls around. New sheriff in town. So
There's a new
Yep.
girl in town.
when the new sheriff comes, he
Yeah.
reopens the case. He says we need to look again at
Wait,
this.
when you say new sheriff in town, did you know that when Dennis Green became the coach of the Minnesota Vikings, he was like, "There's a new sheriff in town," and he like fired a bunch of players.
Okay. Anyway, the police reopen the case, and they find all this evidence that's very interesting. They find an interview with a therapist, Marty's therapist.
Not the rapist.
No, not the rapist. Marty's therapist, who says that Marty confessed to the murders when he was in therapy.
What?
They also find the tape of the anonymous caller.
What? It's just sitting in a file
It's
somewhere?
way back in a box somewhere, yeah. And they send that to the FBI for analysis, and it's still right now being awaiting.
Right now in 2018?
Yep,
2018? You're
Yep.
still looking at this shit?
yep. They're still waiting.
Are all the kids, like, they're all grown up now? They're all, like, in their 50s?
Yeah, they're older. They also find a letter postmarked 16 days after the killings from Marty to Marilyn. And it said in the letter, it said, quote, "I've bought your love with the lives of 4 people."
What?
So they took the
Yeah.
stamp off of the envelope,
Yeah.
and they sent that to
The
FBI.
stamp for the licking.
Yep,
Yeah, they can do the
think
DNA.
they got
and
Marty's
the
DNA.
What?
And then in 2016,
Yeah.
a junk collector finds a hammer in the lake around Keddie. And it looks exactly like the one Marty described as lost.
Oh, man.
So they sent the hammer to the FBI for testing
wouldn't
as well.
any hammer look like the hammer? It looks like a hammer.
I don't
It's a-
know. Maybe
what-
they
what
can
are the
get something
descriptions?
off of
It's
it.
a hammer?
Maybe if they can get blood. If they can get blood off of it, and
No,
if
I'm
they
just
can
saying.
get
If he says, "Oh, that
fingerprints-
looks like the hammer they described," like, How do you describe a hammer? It's a hammer.
Well, maybe it has a red handle or something. I don't
A
know.
red-handled hammer.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
I think you're onto something with a red-handed hammer, like the red backpack.
Handle hammer. That is
That's
the story
cool.
of Cabin 28,
So
the Keddie
yeah.
Murders.
Wow.
It might someday still be solved.
And we're only in April, so we got the whole
Yes,
rest
that's
of the
right.
year of my bullshit to talk about.
Okay.
This is like the first episode where it's like the beginning is your stupid crap.
Yeah, I know.
Your murder shit, where people have to be grossed out and cry. Except those that love blood and murder.
Right, there's
they all
those of
have
us
boners.
that
Those
have boners.
those people all have boners, and their boners
There's
are gonna
those of
be,
us that have boners right now.
yeah, and those people who have boners right now are going to get their boners ruined by a sports thing. April 18th.
Yep, boners ruined.
No, I really think this might be a sports thing that you think is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
cool. Maybe.
All right.
I mean, it's a record.
It's a long shot.
The Pawtucket Red Sox and the Rochester Red Wings, two teams from the AAA International League, so they're minor league baseball. They played the longest game in professional baseball history.
Really?
It lasted 33 innings.
Oh, kill me.
Can you imagine? Like, you can't
Oh,
stand
my
9 innings.
God.
8 hours and 25 minutes of playing time.
Oh, my
Can you imagine
God.
8
Give
hours?
up. Can somebody forfeit after a certain amount of time?
32 innings were played on April 18th and 19th, 1981, at McCoy Stadium
Okay.
in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
So they broke it up, at least. I was
Well-
thinking it would be one session.
Those were the first, it was 2 days worth of
Yeah.
the first 32 innings.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and the final 33rd inning was played a month later.
A month later?
2 months later, June 20th. They
2
stopped.
months
They
later?
finally stopped the game
Yeah.
because it was like 4 a.m.
Oh, my God.
4:00 a.m. So they and then they said we're just going to resume this later on, and so June 23rd they played the last inning.
Oh.
Pawtucket ended up winning the game 3-2. So this game holds the record. These are the records: most innings, 33 innings.
Okay.
Total time for one game, 8 hours and 25 minutes. Most
Jeez.
putouts by one team in one game, 99, which means you get somebody out. Most total putouts in one game, 195. Most at-bats for one team in one game, 114, Pawtucket. Most total at-bats in one game, 219.
Now, I don't know.
at-bats.
All of this now,
When you say at-bat, it's a guy, every time a guy's at-bat,
yeah.
that's an at-bat.
I'm just saying it's getting boring.
But think about a game where 219 people bat. Like,
God, I would
Go up to
die.
bat.
I would kill myself. I would light my eyes on fire.
they kept going and going. So the game started like 7 o'clock at night. It was like a night game. So it went till 4 o'clock a.m. And there was like nobody left. Wade Boggs was part of the game. He was a Hall of Famer. So was Cal Ripken Jr., 2 Hall of Fame players. But Wade Boggs said at one point he got somebody out and he thought everybody was pissed. And everybody's like, oh, goddamn, we got to stay
Yeah, I
here.
know.
There was like 13 people left at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, okay, we got to stop.
Yeah.
There was only like a few people left in the stadium. All those people got they gave them like season tickets.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
for
you would
life or
hope
something,
so.
for staying there that long. There's a commissioner of the minor leagues that you have to get a hold of. The umpire didn't know he could call. He was allowed to just call the game. It's okay.
Oh.
It's been too late. It's been too many.
Oh, God.
He didn't. There's a part in the rule book that says after a certain amount of
Yeah,
time, it's after like midnight or something is the deadline
Okay.
or whatever. You're supposed to just stop.
Yeah.
He didn't know that. It was at.
Oh, my
that
God.
page was
So they
ripped
went
down
till
his
4
rule
in the
book.
morning?
Yeah, so he just kept going.
Oh, my God.
Finally, somebody called the commissioner at 4 o'clock in the morning and was like, "What's going on? We're still playing. What are you doing?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
stop playing immediately."
Yeah, no kidding.
And everybody's exhausted until the players are all tired and all. It's just
It was
insane.
ridiculous.
Just a stupid thing that happened, all because some idiot didn't know. May 2nd, 1981, the Kentucky Derby winner. Pleasant Colony.
Okay.
You didn't even want to guess.
No.
I didn't even make you guess. I didn't even try.
I know, you didn't.
Also, May 2nd, same time, Pleasant Colony won the Kentucky Derby. There was a new #1 song by Sheena Easton.
Oh, God. For your eyes only. No?
No.
Oh, I can't. That's the only one I can
I'll tell
think
you,
of.
I downloaded Sheena Easton's 1981 album.
Yeah.
That's all terrible
Yeah,
music.
it is.
It
Why would
sounds
you
like-
download it?
I just wanted to see what... I only know Sheena Easton from that song she did with Prince.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What's the song?
Morning Train,
Oh, yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know how that goes?
Oh, yes, I do. It's...
I'm taking the morning train, 9 to 5. No, that's not. I just made
I was
that
going
up.
to say, that doesn't sound like it.
I made that up completely.
Oh, I know it. My baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 to 5. He takes another home
again.
to find me waiting for him.
I like
He
to
takes me to
take
the
some
movies,
shits
to
and
the
bags.
restaurant. I
Really?
remember a lot of it now.
He takes me to Red Lobster, and we just
Okay.
eat the bread and leave. That'd be a good song.
Yeah.
Because why go to Red Lobster for anything else but that cheddar biscuits? Also, on May 2nd, 1981, Killer Khan breaks Andre the Giant's left ankle by diving onto him off the top rope in Rochester, New York.
Whoa. It'd be hard to break
Mr.
Andre the
Dubrow.
Giant's
Yeah, he's
ankle.
a big giant dude. He's
Yeah.
a big fat guy.
Yeah.
Do you know Andre the Giant? When he would go to Japan, a lot of wrestling is huge in Japan.
Yeah,
They
I
would go there
remember
all the
you
time.
showing me pictures from it. You had a book about him or
Oh
something.
yeah, he was
He was, like,
unbelievably
in the-
big. But in Japan, he couldn't get into the bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of
You
places.
told me this
A lot of
story.
toilets he couldn't fit on, or
Yeah.
bathroom. So, and so he would a lot of times he couldn't fit on the toilet, so he'd just shit in the tub.
Yeah, that's so
Like,
gross.
he would just shit in the tub
Yep.
in places because he couldn't get on the toilet.
That is so disgusting.
In Japan, he couldn't even
Even
get
get in the bathroom.
into the bathroom.
What'd he do?
He couldn't. He shat on the bed. He put
Oh my God.
He rolled newspaper out on the bed and took a shit on the bed.
Oh my God. I bet the shit is like the horse shit.
Oh, it's like a giant shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm just picturing a giant,
Like a huge cow pie.
like as big as my leg. My whole
Oh,
leg
gross.
is one of his turds.
That's
just a pile
so
of his
gross.
turds.
That's
He shit
so
on the
gross.
bed. Yeah, it's the
Ugh.
greatest thing that's ever happened. Who pooped the bed? Andre the Giant pooped the bed.
Yep.
And then he laughed about it. May 14th, the Celtics beat the Rockets 4-2 to win the NBA Finals.
Okay.
You don't care?
Nope.
May 16th, our new #1 song, Kim Carnes.
Oh God, what did she say? Oh, did she? She's got Betty Davis eyes.
You got Betty Davis.
That's right.
eyes.
That's right. That's right.
How else does that song go? Do you know any other
Turn
words?
the music
I
on
need you.
Roll you
I
like you were
please you.
dice till you come out blue. She's got Betty
Betty
Davis eyes.
I need you.
Yeah, she'll cheese you.
She'll tease you.
Better just to please you.
She'll eat cheeses with
She's
you.
precocious.
June 12th, Raiders of the Lost Ark came out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Steven Spielberg and Melissa Matheson.
Did you say Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg?
Okay.
I probably did.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg and Melissa Matheson wrote a script during shooting breaks on,
Mm-hmm.
on Raiders of the Lost Ark together.
Okay.
Matheson was there to visit her husband, Harrison Ford,
Oh.
and Spielberg dictated to her a story idea he had. That script was eventually called E.T., the
Oh,
extraterrestrial.
that's
They
good.
wrote that on the set of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Jeez,
That's kinda cool.
workaholics.
Yeah.
Take a break.
And Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
from that, he was originally called Indiana Smith.
Oh, that's terrible.
And his name was changed to Jones on the first day of production.
Okay.
Other actors
That would have
considered...
been. That doesn't even. Indiana Smith.
That'd be so stupid.
It would
Indiana
be.
Smith and the Temple of Doom. That'd be so dumb.
Yep.
God, anybody named Smith
No.
is a piece of
no,
shit.
No.
Don't listen to our podcast.
That's a lot of people.
I know. I hate people named Smith and left-handed fucks. Actors. Joe Christian. I found out is left-handed, and he's a listener. He's a listener.
Oh, he is. He's regular.
Yeah,
Hey, Joe Christian.
So Joe Christian, you left-handed piece of shit. Stop listening. You're
Yep,
not welcome to
that's right.
listen because you're left. And he actually told me, you're gonna love this. He told me, if you cut out the wrestling, it'll be the best podcast ever.
Ha! Love it.
Yep.
Proven.
You love Joe Christian, and he's a left-handed prick. He doesn't know how to. We figured out he can't fly kites.
Jeez.
How's he gonna fly a kite? He can't use towels.
Because he's left-handed.
Left-handed. Other actors considered for the role of Indiana Jones included Nick Nolte,
Yep.
Steve Martin, who chose to do Pennies from Heaven instead. Bill Murray, who
I cannot picture Steve Martin as Indiana.
is Indiana Jones.
Not at all.
He'd be running all goofy.
I know, yeah.
Bill Murray, who dropped out due to scheduling conflicts with Saturday Night Live. Chevy Chase. Oh,
That
it
would've
would have
been
been
awful.
terrible with Chevy Chase. Jack Nicholson, Tom Selleck.
Oh, those would be awful.
Harrison Ford was cast less than 3 weeks before principal photography began. Have you seen all the?
Yeah,
of Indiana Jones?
I saw the first one.
I
Obviously,
think I've seen like the
the
first
first
three,
two or three.
yeah.
How many are there?
I think there's like 5. 'cause
There
I think
is?
There's one with his dad, and there's one with a kid or something.
Yeah.
Because what's his name plays his dad.
Are you sure there's 5? I think there was only 3.
I think there's at least 4.
There is.
Because there's the 3.
This is going to be a corrections and apologies, probably.
There's at least 4. Because what's his name plays his dad? The guy goes, not a fan of the ladies. Sorry, I got your back.
Yeah, Sean
Who's that guy?
Connery.
Sean Connery. He plays his dad in
Yeah.
at least 2 of them.
Okay.
I know he wasn't the first 2.
All right. Anyway.
So anyway, and then he's got a kid. There's like a new one. It's an Indiana Jones Jr. or something.
Oh no.
I think there's 5. June 19th,
Mm-hmm.
Superman 2 came out.
I liked that one. Was that the one with they're on the record album spinning out in space?
Probably.
I think
they
so.
were all weird. I remember them being real weird. I didn't really understand what was happening, but anti-smoking campaigners opposed the film as the largest sponsor was the cigarette brand Marlboro, who paid $43,000, approximately.
Wow. Who
40,
smokes Marlboros in it?
the largest sponsor was the cigarette brand Marlboro, who paid $43,000 for the brand to be shown 22 times in the film. Lois Lane was shown as a chain smoker in the film, although she
Is she really?
she never smoked in the comic book version. But Margot Kidder probably loved
Yeah, she probably did.
smoking 100 million
She probably
cigarettes.
did, yeah.
And you think about it now, imagine if you saw anybody in a superhero movie smoking cigarettes.
I know.
What the?
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be funny to watch. But every person in the world smoked
Yep,
back then.
they did.
July 8th, the Go-Go's were the first and to date only all-female band that wrote their own songs, played their own instruments to have an album reach number 1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart with their 1981 debut album,
Beauty and the Beat.
Beauty and a Beat. Yes.
Yes, I had it.
You did?
Yes, I love the Go-Go's.
We have We Got the Beat on it?
Oh,
we
yeah.
got the beat.
And our lips are
Everybody.
sealed.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
We Got the Beat is still a good song.
Yeah, it
I
is.
will take off my shirt in my Prius. I will
Yes,
scream
and it's ridiculous.
at everyone around me, listen to this. July 9th, Mario debuted as Jumpman. His name wasn't Mario. in the movie.
Jumpman?
His name was Jumpman
That's snappy.
in the arcade game Donkey Kong on July 9th,
Oh, yeah.
1981. Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong from 1981 arcade game,
Oh,
and that the current modern Donkey Kong was meant to be his son, Donkey Kong Jr.
I wonder why they called it Donkey Kong.
I don't know. I always wondered that.
It's
It's a
weird.
gorilla. It's not a donkey.
I know.
Why is that his name? I didn't understand. We never questioned it.
Nope,
We just
never
played
did.
the game.
Yep.
And it was fucking hard.
It was hard.
I could not. Maybe one
Jump
level.
over those stupid barrels.
You just can't time that shit
No, I
right.
know.
And who's got the patience? That's
Yeah,
the thing. You got to
that's-
have patience
Yes.
and nothing else to do.
Yep.
And it'll be a big fucking loser who's never going to get laid.
Yeah, that's right.
July 17th, Arthur. The movie Arthur came out.
Yeah, I remember that.
At one point during the production, Liza Minnelli is supposed to board a bus in front of Berghoff's on Fifth Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
When a real bus came along and she boarded it, thinking it was,
Was
the,
the fake
it was
bus?
the movie bus.
Oh, my God.
Not until she was halfway down the block did she realize her blunder when she looked back and saw the whole crew cracking up.
Oh, gosh.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
July 25th, a new number 1 single,
Yes.
Air Supply.
Hmm.
The One That You Love.
No, I don't know.
You know how that goes?
No.
You know any Air Supply songs?
Yes, I
They're
can't
terrible.
think. They are, and I can't think of the one. I do know an Air Supply song, but I can't think of it right now.
I tried to listen to one and I turned it off immediately.
That's right. The one that you love, asking for another chance. I know it now.
This is the worst video I've ever seen in my life. I want Beavis and Butthead to watch that. That
Yes.
sucks. That sucks.
That would be great.
That was a terrible. Air Supply was awful.
Yes.
In fact, anyone who likes Air Supply,
All right, now.
stop listening to the podcast.
No.
You are no longer allowed. If you
No.
like, not only that, if you like Air Supply, if you
Yeah.
own any Air Supply songs, immediately.
I bet Brendan Kane owns an Air Supply.
Oh, I'm sure he does, and he probably listens to it daily.
He probably does.
And you know what, Brendan Kane? You're not welcome to listen to the podcast.
Stop.
Anybody who likes Air Supply, punch yourself in the balls
Yeah.
until you stop liking Air Supply. July 29th, the wedding of Charles, Prince of Wales, and Lady Diana Spencer
Oh, yes.
took place on Wednesday, the 29th of July, 1981. July 31st of 1981, during a television taping of AWA's All-Star Wrestling that would air in August, Hulk Hogan, who I told you last time was a bad guy. He started out as a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he had all that charisma, and I mentioned that the baby faces were just boring guys, but the bad guys had all the things. Hulk Hogan turned face.
What's that mean?
That means he turned to a good guy. He became a baby face.
Oh, okay.
He ran in to stop the villainous Crusher Blackwell from beating down Brad Rheingans. And by the end of 1981, he was easily the AWA's most popular wrestler and would begin challenging Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship.
All right.
August 1st. MTV began on August 1st,
Really?
1981.
Woo!
The first video,
Was it Video Killed the Radio
Video
Star?
Kill the Radio Star by the Buggles.
Yep.
The second video,
Oh, gosh.
You know what that is?
No, I only ever knew the first one.
yeah, and everybody always knows that one. But the second one was Pat Benatar's You Better Run.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. August 1st, 1981, we have a new number 1 song after MTV debuts.
What is it?
Rick Springfield,
Jesse's Girl.
Jesse Was a Friend.
Jesse's Girl.
Rick Springfield was taking a stained glass class along with his friend Gary and Gary's girlfriend. He initially wanted to use the actual name of the friend he was thinking about.
I wish I had
I
Gary's
wish I had
Girl.
Gary's girl, but Gary is such a stupid fucking name.
Yes, it is.
That anybody named Gary should
Now,
not
wait
be
a
listening to this
minute.
podcast. Just kidding. August 3rd, there was an air traffic controller strike.
Okay.
And Ronald Reagan fired 11,345 striking air traffic controllers.
Whoa.
August 15th, there's a new number one song, Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. My endless love.
Yeah.
September 12th, 1981, the Smurfs debuted.
Oh, I used to love that.
And
cartoon.
they ran until 1989.
Wow, that's a long run.
And did you know that the Smurfs were actually based on a Belgian comic franchise?
No.
Centered on a fictional colony of small blue human-like creatures who live in mushroom-shaped houses in the forest in 1959.
Oh, wow.
Or
I wonder if they look
1958.
I wonder if they look similar.
The Smurfs were first created and introduced as a series of comic characters by Belgian comics artist Peyo, the pen name of Pierre Culliford, in 1958, where they were known as Les Schtroumpfs.
Good.
Les Schtroumpfs. That's SCHTROUMPFS.
Wow.
Les Schtroumpfs. And if you Google that, you see old-ass drawings of Smurfs.
Do they look like it, though?
Yeah, they look kind of like them.
They
but
do?
they're like, you can
Yeah,
tell
they're old.
They're
Yeah,
old looking.
right.
Yeah, so
That's
that blew
cool.
me away. I had
Yeah.
no idea the Smurfs were any older than the 80s.
Yeah.
And there's also other female ones than just Smurfette back then. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yep. So there you go.
Because that was always weird.
Yeah.
Smurfette was the only girl in the entire village.
Well, you remember when they created her? They made her out of like potions or something.
Yeah.
Like, they had to mix all the stuff to create a woman
It's so
for
bizarre.
them all to bang.
Yeah, I know. Gross.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't show her.
No, I
getting
know.
banged.
Not unless you go to the dark web.
October 9th. Being the opening act for one of the biggest bands in the world can never be an easy gig, but Prince had a particularly rough encounter with Rolling Stones fans in October of
Oh,
1981.
really?
Now, Prince was new on the scene at this time.
Yes, he was.
On a bill that also featured George Thorogood and the Jay Giles Band, as well
Oh,
as
my God.
the Stones as the headliners, Prince was not only the least recognizable artist on the stage of the LA Coliseum, he was the only black, funky, and ultra glamorous one.
Yeah.
When he appeared in a trench coat and black bikini briefs,
Oh, my God.
the intolerant crowd began hurling homophobic slurs and pelting
Aw.
him with food and bottles.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can't believe it. Back then,
I can believe it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it was Prince.
yeah, he's like the greatest singer of
Yeah.
all time, pretty much. Like the greatest songwriter ever. Clearly forgetting that Mick Jagger himself was once known for androgynous antics. Distraught, Prince wanted to ditch the second opening date, but he was talked back into it. A replay of the night before ensued. Prince didn't let this public misunderstanding or any other slow him down in his quest
Good for
pop
him.
domination.
Yes.
As he was quoted as saying in a 2006 Guardian article, "The only person who knows anything about music is me."
Nice.
Boom.
Yep.
Prince don't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't.
He don't give a fuck. October 17th, 1981. Christopher Cross, Arthur's Theme.
Ugh.
Oh, God.
How
awful.
can you get from the moon in New York City?
That's
I
Arthur's
know
Theme.
it's crazy, but it's true. Oh, it's awful.
That sucks.
Yes, it is.
October 23rd.
Yeah.
George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers went on their 50-50 tour,
Okay.
where they played in all 50 states in just 50 days. In
Whoa.
1981.
That's a hard.
Beginning
Work.
October 23rd in Honolulu, Hawaii, they played 50 consecutive shows in all 50 U.S.
Oh, my
states,
God.
ending December 11th at Pasadena, California.
That's awful. I would never want to do that.
I saw George Thorogood
You
in
did
a
with my
concert
dad.
with your dad,
That's
and
right.
it was the loudest fucking concert
Really?
I've ever heard in my life. I found out later that they brought their own sound equipment,
Oh.
and it was an indoor show at a theater,
Yeah, and they
brought
played it like a rock stadium.
they brought stadium sound speakers.
Oh my God.
It was the loud. I couldn't. My brain hurt. It was so loud.
Oh my
We
God.
were in the back, but he fucking still rocks.
Was my dad rocking?
Yeah, I think he seemed to like it. I think he thought it was too loud too.
Yeah.
but Old George is old as fuck,
Really?
but
And
he
he's still rocking it
fucking
out.
rocks
That's
it out.
hysterical.
Makes all these kind of crazy, gross faces and stuff.
Yeah.
He was kind of out of it, but he was good.
Yeah.
October 23rd, 1981's Frogger has the most ways to die in any arcade game.
Oh, really?
The frog may be killed in 9 different ways as he crosses streets and rivers on his way home, including alligators, cars, snakes, and water.
I never played that.
So a Frogger was great. Andy
Really?
was great at it. He loved it. And there was the song went dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I only say that because one time My childhood best friend, Steve Bishop, who now wears a kilt and is covered in tattoos and
Yes.
has a Prince Albert,
Yeah.
he one time, no joke, we're 3 witnesses to this, he farted that song. He farted the theme
That's
song.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He farted the
Jeez.
whole thing. October 28th, 1981, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2 in a shortened strike season. Several players of the Dodgers recorded a cover version of the Queen's We Are the Champions. And the quartet performed the song on an episode of Solid Gold, the syndicated
Yes.
TV show. Remember that show?
Oh, Marilyn McCoo.
You loved that.
Rick Dees. Yeah, I loved Solid Gold. Katie and I would pretend to be Solid Gold dancers all the time.
It's ridiculous. Those Solid Gold dancers.
Yes.
They were hot.
They
I
were.
will say they
There
were
were
hot.
those leotards, those metallic leotards.
You guys loved Olivia Newton-John and Solid
Yes,
Gold.
oh, we did. We were all about it.
You guys were white.
Yes.
November 7th, 1981. Daryl Hall and John Oates took over the number 1 chart with their hit single, their second hit single of the year, hitting number 1. Private Eyes, they're watching you.
It's a stupid song.
That
Every move.
was terrible too, but I still love it. I still listen to it in my car really loud.
Oh, God.
Teach the millennials a thing or two. November 21st, Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical.
Yes.
Physical.
I had that album.
It hit number 1. Yeah, you talked at length about that album last
Physical.
time.
No, I talked about Xanadu last time. This is Physical. It's a whole different album.
Oh, it's a whole nother album?
Yes. Xanadu was a movie.
And she had an album
And she had
soundtrack.
an album based on the movie.
So
and
on this-
Physical was a whole new album.
So on Physical, there's a song where she sings about dolphins.
Yes.
And it's got dolphins singing
Dolphin
with her.
songs. Yes.
It's like dolphins.
Yes.
Her dolphin song?
Yeah, I don't know.
That may be the dumbest song I've ever heard in my life. It's
I
a
thought it
bunch
was
of-
good when I was that age because I had the whole album.
Like it's.
How did you hear it?
I told you I downloaded I looked at some list of the top 10.
And you
or
downloaded Olivia Newton-John's Physical
20
album?
albums. The whole album just to see what else was on that because it was
Oh
just
my
Physical.
God.
And but what I'm doing is I see how much I can listen, and
then
I
you delete.
and I gonged the shit. That one actually I listened. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
And that was the first extra song you
The whole
heard?
first 5 minutes of that are just
Good
dolphin sounds.
I know.
I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Is that the
was a
only other
soundtrack?
song you heard from that album, though?
Oh no, there were other ones that I gonged immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them were terrible.
Yeah.
They all sounded like that song in Grease that they wrote for the movie. That
Yeah.
was just for her.
Yeah.
That whatever song she sings,
Hopelessly
totally devoted.
Devoted to
Yeah,
You.
hopelessly. They all sound just like that. And they're
Yeah.
all garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, she's terrible. She's
Oh,
an
God, I
awful
loved
singer.
her. I
don't know
loved
why,
her.
because it's awful.
She was a wholesome.
Yeah, that's true.
It was because
But
of Grease. That's
did-
why we loved her.
You know that
from
let-
Grease on, she was our idol.
Well, did you know that Let's Get Physical was? I don't think I wrote this on here, but it was originally written for Rod Stewart.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
That's when
write
she
it
cut all her hair short for Physical.
to look like Rod Stewart. November 28th, actress drowning death.
Natalie Wood?
Natalie Wood. Yeah, I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah, she was a movie star.
Yeah,
She was in a
drowned.
movie with James Dean.
Did you hear about what happened with her drowning? Do you know?
I know
about
that
this?
it's suspicious. Some people suspect Robert Wagner, and some people suspect Christopher Walken
Really.
as being involved. Yeah.
During the making of the film Brainstorm, Wood drowned while on a weekend boat trip to Santa Catalina Island on board the Splendor.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the circumstances surrounding her drowning are unknown. It was never determined how she entered the water. She was with her husband, Robert Wagner, Brainstorm co-star Christopher Walken, and the Splendor's captain, Dennis Daffern, on the evening of November 28th, 1981. Wood's body was recovered by authorities at 8 o'clock a.m. on November 29th, 1 mile away from the boat, with a small inflatable dinghy named the Valiant found beached nearby. According to Wagner, when he went to bed, Wood was not there. The autopsy report revealed that Wood had bruises on her body and arms as well as an abrasion on her left cheek.
Yep.
Wagner acknowledged that he had an argument with Wood before she disappeared. The autopsy found that Wood's blood alcohol content was 0.14%. And there were traces of 2 types of medication in her bloodstream, a motion sickness pill and a painkiller, both of which increased the effects of alcohol.
Right.
Following his investigation, Los Angeles County Coroner Thomas Noguchi ruled her death an accident by drowning and hypothermia.
Yeah, right.
According to Noguchi, Wood had been drinking and she may have slipped while trying to reboard the dinghy.
Yeah, right.
You think
That's suspicious
You think
as hell.
Robert Wagner killed her?
Or Christopher Walken.
Or Christopher Walken?
Maybe. There's rumors about that.
I got a prescription for more cowbell.
I think he's supposed to be a real asshole, too.
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass
Yeah.
for 7 years. And he killed somebody. He's
Maybe.
supposed to be an asshole, he said?
I think, yeah, I've heard that.
December 4th, 1981. We're getting to the end of the year. December 4th, 1981, On Golden Pond came out.
I remember that. Yeah.
I never saw this or ever even heard of
Yeah.
this. But why would I?
Oh, you haven't ever heard of it?
I don't think so. Maybe, but
Yeah.
it didn't sound familiar to me at all. But I read a bunch of stuff about Henry
Yeah.
Fonda and Katharine Hepburn, and they never done a movie together and all this other crap, and it seemed real boring to me.
Yeah.
Did you like that movie?
No, it's about old
Remember
people.
it? It's like old people, and when you're a kid, you don't care about this. December 30th, 1981,
Yes.
the greatest thing in hip-hop ever. Like, one of the biggest deals of hip-hop. Like, you cannot say you know anything or like anything about hip-hop if you don't know about Kool Moe Dee versus Busy Bee
All right.
at the Harlem World. So, this is the biggest hip-hop battle of
Okay.
all time. And Manhattan's Harlem World nightclub, Kool Moe Dee performed one of the most ruthless career dissections of all time. Taking the stage right after Busy Bee star Ski, Kool Moe Dee was pissed at B's claims that he'll take out any MC, proceeded to attack his predecessor point by point, dissing his name, his live show, and his trademark "Ba Wada Ba" chant. All Busy Bee could do was yell, "Shut up!" on the mic, helplessly. You can hear him say, "Shut up!" Because Busy Bee starts off like rocking the crowd,
Yeah.
and to get everybody going. It's kind of like old, just like Sugar Hill Gang,
Yeah.
where it's just like
Yeah.
there's just like fun party rap,
Yeah.
and then Kool Moe Dee just like takes it to a different direction, just like
You can
tears
hear
him
that
up.
now?
Yeah, it's on
Oh,
YouTube. It's
yeah.
everywhere. You can just look up Kool Moe Dee versus Busy Bee, and Kool Moe Dee just tears him up
Does
at,
it?
at the end. You can hear him yelling, "Shut up," which is cool. The shot stung, but Moe Dee closed the case when he broke into his revolutionary fast rapping style toward the end of his routine. And you gotta, if you haven't heard this, if you like rap at all, you gotta listen to it. It's great. Like
Yeah.
it really
It changed everything.
changed everything with rap. And LL Cool J, he battled Kool Moe Dee, and it became a whole different thing.
So rap battles weren't a thing before this.
No, they were a thing, but this like changed it. Like he tore him up.
Yeah.
Like he like just changed. They were a thing, but they would just like, I do party rock and then you do party rap.
Oh,
you know?
it
Rap
wasn't a
battles were a
battle.
big thing.
Yeah.
But this one was like he was like
Going
tore
in-
the guy
yeah.
up, like specifically him.
Yeah.
But it's like old school, and you can hear them. You can tell they're on a stage in the '80s, and
Yeah.
it's crazy sounding. 'Cause that's how rap started, just in the streets, people battling each other.
That is all she wrote.
That is all. I figured.
That's a lot.
I feel it was a lot, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So we're in the '80s. We have a new logo.
Shout out everybody. Yeah, we got a new 80s logo Joe
Enjoy our
created.
new '80s logo, which is made on some '80s simulator thing that everybody's playing with a while back.
It looks awesome. I love it. You
It
did a
looks
great
cool.
job.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that tattooed on my scrotum.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hey, I was thinking the other day, should we make T-shirts?
Oh, we should.
Because I was thinking we need like business cards to pass out to listen to my
And
podcast.
yeah, business cards and maybe get some cafe press. We could do Get Out of Here Chuck Berry on the front, and on the back it could say
American time
Yeah.
with our logo, or
Yeah.
whatever. Coffee mugs, hats, frisbees,
do it. Umbrellas,
condoms,
shoehorns.
shoehorns,
All right.
dentures,
Dentures. Yeah.
grills, grills, that have-
Grills.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, get the fuck out of here, Chuck Berry. I love you guys. I love all of you. More than